Good morning, y'all. Faceless Samurai here. Vlog number 3, I believe. June 19th, 2023. Monday morning. Heading to work as usual. Today, I don't really have much going through my mind, so I'll talk about last game I played. Don't know if many people have played it, actually. It's the Pixel Remasters. I guess you can buy it digitally, so I guess it's quite easily available. But yeah, I got the physical version from PlayAsia for Nintendo Switch, and I believe it's available on PS4 as well and PC if you get digital, obviously, because there aren't any physical versions for PC of that game. It was quite expensive. It's 100 here in Canada. At least it was $110, I believe. I couldn't get the Square Enix version. When it was announced, I kind of hesitated, I think, and then I really wanted to go for the vinyl version because I have a little vinyl collection at home, but that sold out quite fast, so I couldn't get my hands on it, and I don't want to pay the exorbitant prices on eBay right now. So yeah, went ahead and bought the PlayAsia version when that was announced for Switch. I kind of wanted the portability just in case, I do tend to visit my family. And it's a few hours from here, and sometimes I bring my laptop, sometimes I'll do some xCloud, but Switch, since it's native, does feel that much better to me. So I mean, I'm thinking of getting like one of those Steam Decks or ROG Allies, in the future, but I find them quite expensive for the very little use they get out of me, because I don't really have that much time anyway. So I want to wait it out for the time being. But yeah. Getting back to Final Fantasy. Haven't played them all yet. Just tried a few like that just to see the difference. I mean, quite a few options. You can just change the look of like the pixels and stuff if you want more like the older look, the newer look, if you want like with the scan line and stuff like that. So it's quite nice. I mean, depending on like your tastes, I guess, and the visuals. I think that the remastered version looks nice. The new. I mean, I understand the idea behind the fact that like the way that pixels are shown isn't really the way it's supposed to be seen on a modern like LCD display. Those were designed back in the days when they were like being shown on a CRT television, and obviously that gave it like a different look. So for that reason, the company decided to adapt, I think, the sprites, to make sure that it has that design, that look that they actually wanted to portray on screen, and not just what it looks like on a modern display. So some are adapted quite a bit more than others. Some people are saying, "Oh, it changes the look completely." I don't think it does. I mean, it's the visual like intent of the designers. Like that's what they wanted us to see initially, and this is what we get right now with the remaster. So I think it's alright if that's what if that's their vision. I mean, they should go for it. Sure. I mean, maybe it's for the better. Maybe people are gonna get used to that kind of stuff, and other remasters can get done and have the same like work put on them. So I think Square is doing a good job there. The music is like, sure, I understand why they remastered it, I guess, but it depends. Some are hits, some are misses. That really depends on some. But most of them are. A lot of them, I'd say, they're mostly like it's like slight differences. Like it's not a huge upgrade, But I haven't played much, so we'll see. Maybe some of them are gonna really piss me off. I'm mostly like going in through. I'm not going in order. I'm playing Final Fantasy 6 first. Why? Because the one I played the most already is the one I know the most. And it's one of my favorite. Well, actually, I should say it's my favorite. It's the one I replayed the most as well. So I thought I'd give it a try. I know it well, so I should be able to go through it fast because I don't have that much time to play, so I don't think it's gonna be that fast. But that's one feature I wanted to talk about. Like, I'm in like my late 30s. I have very little time. It's kind of like the thing to spend time at the gym these days, to get in shape. Have wife, I have kids. Take a lot of my time as well, and I have a job, so I'm like, with all these things, like taking like part of my time. I end up sometimes having like an hour or two to play games at night, which is very little compared to how much time I used to spend before I had my kids, you know, because my wife's a gamer as well. But I mean, we have other stuff to attend to first, obviously, you know. So yeah, I have very little time to play. And like when I get in bed, for example, at night, or sometimes on my lunch at work, I'll have my Switch, and I'll be able to put maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. I mean, I like to use that time like as best as I can, and you know, that's why I kind of like started giving up on a few of the stuff I was playing, because they're just like grinds, you know, like. But these these types of games, what I like is the way they remastered it. They give you the option to accelerate. I mean, I think that's something that they put like in the other remasters, like the Final Fantasy 7 and 8, or re-releases, I should say, because they were not really remasters in those cases. But for this game, what I like is like you can, for example, like for Final Fantasy 6, you can make it so that like when you fight monsters, every time you finish a fight, you get 4 times the amount of experience. I mean, maybe you could have put more, but 4 is pretty decent amount, I think. 4 times the amount of money, 4 times the amount of like points for your leveling your aspers, you know, or your magic. So what that does is that it makes, because those are JRPGs, and JRPGs are, I mean, sure, you can speedrun them, and there's always like strategies you can use in fights, you know, like to make sure that you can go through the game really fast without leveling too much. But if you're like more casual, it seems there's like, because it's like kind of like level gated, and what I mean is that like there's like specific moments I'd say in the game where you kind of like have to grind just a little bit, you know, just to get that level, like reach a certain level to be able to beat the bosses, for example. Like, you know, like I said, not necessary, but usually it'll help quite a lot. So I have like kind of like spots in the game in my mind where I'm like, okay, I know I need to beat this level to go through, you know, or it's gonna help me a lot. I like to just grind. It's, let's say I used to do like, let's say I'll do like 1 hour here or 2 hours here, and then I'll get a certain level, and I know for quite a while I won't need to do any leveling, right? And also what this does in like this game, for example, is like all the characters you're gonna get after that moment, it's like they're gonna have the same level as you. So it does save you a lot of time, like leveling all those characters as well, because there's quite a lot in that game. So I like the fact that they kind of like think about people like me. They're like, you know, they don't have that much time to play. The portability, especially on Switch, means that they can play anywhere, you know, but they kind of like want to play left and right, they want to do some stuff, but they don't want to feel like they're wasting their time. And it's a JRPG, you know, you can't really sit down and play 10 minutes and feel like you've done anything. So having that accelerated like leveling really helps you get to the newer zones like that much faster and go through the story faster. So instead of being like I mean, it's hard to put a time on an RPG like that, you know, because it can be 20-25 hours. It can be, I mean, 5 hours if you're speedrunning. It can be like 40 hours, 50, 60, 80 hours if you want to do like most of the content in the game, you know. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to farm. If you played that game before, you know like all about the stuff like Paladin Shield and shit like that. Like there's a lot of stuff you can just grind if you want just to get it. So the fact that they actually decided to go ahead and do that, I think it's quite helpful, and I think more games should actually do that. Even like newer games, you know? Like sure, like right now I'm playing in my spare time some Persona 4 before it goes away from Game Pass. I had never played it before. I did play 5, and I had an awesome time. Like, okay, why didn't I play those games before? They're pretty good, you know. So I'm playing through Persona 4, and I kind of like, well, I mean, it's not that hard of a game. At least that game has a difficulty level, which I guess is kind of like the same idea, you know. Sure, you're not gonna level faster, but the fact that enemies are easier means you need less leveling, and you need to think less about like how you're gonna level your personas and the gear you have and stuff. So I guess it does have an effect in the same way. But yeah, I think these are kind of options that people need to think more when designing their games, you know. I mean, some I understand, like the Souls games, like the Souls likes, sure, like okay, the difficulty is part of like the game itself, you know, it has to be there. But for RPGs like that, because some of them are just like not infinite, but they almost never end. Like I remember, like I spent like 85 hours on Dragon Quest 11, and that was like, yeah, it's 11, yeah, and that was like just the main story itself. I didn't even like do any extra content. I just did the main story. It took me 85 hours, and I was like, okay, there's like an epilogue now to that game where you can keep going. Like, okay, fuck that, like I'm done, you know, like that's just enough, you know. I can't keep going like forever. So if you're gonna make your game like last that long, at least give us options to kind of finish it easy, like faster, you know, or think about people's time. Because sure, like as a kid, I'm like, and I was buying my games, you know, there was this idea that like the longer the game is, the better, because you're getting more for your money. But these days with stuff like Game Pass, like you're bombarded with games, you know, and there's so much content available, especially with the free to play stuff, that I mean, there's so much stuff fighting for your time that I don't think it's reasonable to have, like, sure, you can have the extra content if you want. They make it so that people can actually enjoy your games, and sometimes maybe a shorter amount of time, you know, so that it's more like balanced out that way. And people that like to experience lots of contents, like a faster pace, at least they can, and the others, they can have the option to do it at a slower pace and really enjoy the experience, I guess, that you intended initially. So yeah, that was like my little speech on the Pixel Remaster. I mean, it's the same games we loved and we played before. I mean, if you're new to the classics, you know, like, I mean, go for it. I mean, obviously, if you play 1 and then you play 4, quite a big difference in style. 5 with the job system, which is like a staple, I guess, of Final Fantasy now. But especially if you play like the MMO, you know. But still, the series like really grew back then, obviously, until it hit like 7. But it feels like it's a totally different era, you know. Like once 7 was released, when the PS1 era started, like a totally different style until like 9, at least, until like Sakaguchi-san left and stopped like directing the Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy games, you know. So totally different style of games. So I feel it's worth trying them out if you haven't yet. And with that, I'm gonna have to leave you guys as I'm about to enter my my work. So hope you guys enjoyed it. As usual, don't forget to subscribe and like or dislike if you don't like the content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.